All right, so we're continuing to progress through our rules of exponents. Okay, today we're going to talk about two more. We're going to talk about our power of a power rule and our power of a product rule. Okay, the first thing is, what do these things look like? And as you can see in the question I have on the page here, how does the shortcut work? Okay, well, if you take a look at the first example I have here, this is an example of a power of a power. Okay, we have a power of n to the fourth power, raised to a power. Okay, so it's a power of a power. So kind of like a double exponent, if you want to call it that. Okay, however you think of it the best. So again, I'm going to show you this expanded out to show you why the shortcut works. If I expanded this out, that would mean I would have four factors of n to the fourth. So I would have n to the fourth times n to the fourth times n to the fourth times another n to the fourth. Okay, and then if I expanded each of those n to the fourths out, n times n times n times n, there's the first n to the fourth, n times n times n times n, there's your second. Okay, here's your third, and there is your fourth. So I expanded each of them out. We do not need the parentheses. Okay, you can probably see where this is going. You will not have to do it this way. I'm just showing you why it works. Okay, so at the end of the day here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So at the end of all that, we got n to the 16th power. Now, what's the shortcut? We were together in class. Hopefully you could figure this out. How do we get a 16 from this original problem? Well, 4 times 4 is what gives us the 16. So there's your rule. There's your power of a power rule. So your power of a power is a to the m to the n is equal to a to the m times n. Okay, so we just multiply the exponents. Okay, I always think of it as exponent high multiply. Okay, exponent high multiply. If the exponent is a little bit higher than it normally would be, exponent high, multiply. Okay, hopefully that helps. All right, the next example is what we call a power of a product. You have a product, 4 times x, raised to a power. Okay, a power of a product. So again, if I expanded this out, 4x squared, that would be 2 factors of 4x, like so. Okay, I could strip away the parentheses, 4 times x times, 4 times x, I meant to put another 4 there, times 4 times x. Okay, we can group those. I can put the 4 and the 4 in the front, and then the x and the x. The 4 times 4 would give me a 16. The x times the x would give me an x squared. So my answer there would be x squared. Well, I can skip all that middle ground, and instead, okay, when we've worked with parentheses in the past, okay, typically when you see a number on the outside, what do? You distribute. It's really no different, okay, with an exponent. We're going to distribute that exponent to the 4 and to the x. So this expression would become 4 squared x squared, which would be 16. My pen's acting up a little bit, guys. Sorry. 16x squared. So you just distribute the exponent to what's on the inside. Okay, so that's how the shortcuts work. Okay, that's how your power of a power works. That's how your power of a product works. Now, if we take a look at a couple examples and we kind of mix these things together, okay, take a look at this first example. Okay, you see the 2 on the outside of the parentheses, that this exponent of 2 right here, that 2 is going to get distributed. It's going to go to the big 2, the normal 2, so I'm going to have 2 squared it's going to go to the u. So you're going to have u squared. And then it's also going to go to the v squared. V squared squared. And then I simplify that. 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. U squared, there's nothing to do with that, u squared. And right here, v squared squared, I have an exponent high multiply situation. So exponent high multiply, that would be v. 2 times 2 is 4. So your final answer for that first one is 4 u to the second v to the fourth. Okay. In the second problem, I actually mixed in all 3 of our rules. I challenge you guys a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you would do here is distribute this little 2 right here, that exponent. It's going to go to the 2, so I'm going to have 2 squared. It's going to go to the u to the fourth squared. It's going to go to the v to the fourth squared. And then I still have this u to the third v squared kind of hanging out on the outside there. And then I simplify that. So the 2 squared would be 4. Here with the 4 and the 2, I have an exponent high multiply. So it would be 4 times 2, which would be u to the 8th. This is another exponent high multiply situation. So that would be v to the 8th. And then I have that u to the third, v to the second. All right, then we could rearrange it. The 4 stays in the front. The u to the 8th and the u to the third go together. The v to the 8th and the v to the second go together. Okay, and I'm pretty much home free here. I got 4. The 8 and the 3 with the u's, these have the same base, so I can add those exponents. U to the 11th. And then the same thing here with the v. Okay, the 8 and the 2 can add to make a v to the 10th. So my final answer is 4u to the 11th, v to the 10th. Okay? The key here, guys, is knowing when to apply what rule. So to kind of recap here, get my pen. To kind of recap here, all right, there's really 3 things you're looking at. Okay? Let's say I'll use a to the fourth times a to the second. This is a situation where we have the same base. We are going to add the 4 and the 2. 4 and the 2 add to make a 6. This was the first rule we talked about. That is the product of powers. The second rule we talked about is when you have a to the fourth to the second. This is a power of a power rule. Exponent high multiply. That would be a to the 4 times 2, which is a to the 8th. And then the last one is where we have a product, or I'm sorry, a power of a product. So something like this, 4a to the second. That's when we would distribute the 2 to what's on the inside. So I'd have 4 squared times a squared, which would be 16a squared. So this right here just gives you an idea of the 3 rules that we've talked about in a nutshell. Okay, the key is just to execute the rules when you see, okay, kind of what they look like. All right, and only you can figure out really what's easiest for you. Some people think of, when they're next to each other like this, you add them. Okay, when it's on top of it like that, you multiply. Okay, whatever works best for you. The one thing that I want you to be heads up for here, guys, and I'm just going to go over a quick common error. Okay, a common error here. All right, I'm writing it down because I don't want you to make this mistake. If you have an exponent high, let's say we have a to the second to the fourth. Okay, a lot of people will do a lot of people will say that this is a to the 2 to the fourth power. So a lot of people will actually do 2 to the fourth power, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is going to end up being a to the 16. Okay, that's no good. All right, you're not doing 2 to the fourth power. You're just multiplying 2 times 4. Exponent high, multiply. Okay, so a to the second to the fourth is a to the 2 times 4, which is a to the 8th. This is no good. This is good. Okay, so just be heads up for that. Okay, go nice and slow. Keep your work organized. Arrange variables that have the same base so they can be added, and just really just go slow and keep track of your work.